Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome everybody, guys. Today we will take a look at Canadian dollar because the price action that we see right now here, we just can't ignore it, and I thought that it probably will be more useful to take a look at the Canadian dollar instead of the gold market. Gold market actually has been covered very well by our analysis on the previous week, while on the Canadian dollar the last time we have talked approximately a month ago when we have prepared the update here. Canadian dollar rate right now stands in the center of the kind of the turmoil because it has really big relation to crude oil. And you know that the crude oil recently shows very strong rally. Mostly the setup that we have discussed within the few months have been completed. I will remind you. So if you remember, in February we even have prepared this separate isolated weekly research to crude oil because it was really important. And take a look, the background, the major context for trading on the crude oil was this ABCD pattern on the monthly chart. So this is very good price action. Here, 2 months ago, was the bread and butter trade on the weekly chart when we said it's time to go long because market will close this gap and will reach the target of 75.55. The top of the April stands at 74.15, which just $1 below the target. Also, this you can see really wide confidence resistance, so this will be major resistance of the crude oil. That will have the significant relation and impact on the Canadian dollar as well, guys. Also, there are some other reasons why the weakness on the Canadian dollar could come, especially if we'll start to talk about the possible rate change in May. So we have put some background on the Canadian dollar fundamentals in the weekly research, so you could read this. The one part is the analysis of the crude oil market. Another one is stands in relation to chances on rate increase by the Bank of Canada. So this is also a very tricky topic. As a result, currently, guys, we have some signs and patterns that really increase the chances that maybe Canadian dollar will continue the upward action. On the daily chart, on the Canadian dollar, last time when we have talked about it, we started the trading of this head and shoulders pattern. Because on the longer term chart, if you remember, it was really cool triple to sell pattern. That was the first reaction on it. But the problem right now, guys, with this price action, actually with this dropping, we have the bullish grabber on the weekly chart, while this upward action creates simultaneously the bullish engulfing right at the major fib support on the daily and weekly chart. What does it tell us? The minimum what we could get is a kind of the ABCD retracement up. So another leg up should happen here. But that's the minimum destination point. As a maximum, ultimate, it could be price action above the stops. When and if this will happen, this will be a really big question what the kind of the price action above the stop will be. Whether it will be just wash and rinse of the stop, grabbing the stops above this area and turn down, or it will be real upside continuation. That will depend, of course, on the gold, on crude oil market, because here, in the completion of this ABCD, it could be minor retracement, which will mean on the Canadian dollar just upward continuation, and then crude oil could continue move higher. But it also could be some medium-term reversal, deep retracement, because guys, momentum here is rather strong. This was just ABCD retracement. We will get regardless triple to sell pattern here, And usually it leads to at least the 30% retracement. So on crude oil, this will be, this monthly chart, guys, will be really significant. And existence of the grabber on the weekly chart makes this scenario possible. Canadian dollar really could continue to move higher and erase our initial thought that probably it will be some action right to the 122 area, right here, as it was suggested our first analysis. So in the weekly research, you will find more details on more explanation. But one thing that we could say right now is that currently, guys, it's not the time to think about downside continuation. So if you wasn't time to take the short position here, as we have discussed with these head and shoulders, and caught this downward action, your performance is really very good. But right now, it's not time yet to think where to take the short position again. Now it's time for those who are probably searching chances to make money on some upward retracement here on this upward action on the Canadian dollar, who has the bullish view on this currency pair. So because the moment where market will turn down again and whether it will turn now looks more blurred than previously. Previously, it was a bit more clear, and 2 weeks ago it was more clear because this drop down really was promising, and we could get the bearish grabber on monthly chart on the Canadian dollar, which suggests moving below 122 area. Right now, with this upward action, it's not the fact yet that we will get it, because the market will move slightly higher, the grabber will be erased, and the monthly trend could turn bullish. That is what we talked about in the analysis of the monthly chart. So, speaking on the short-term perspective, guys, I think that will be time of the upward continuation on the Canadian dollar. And here is how it could happen. So this is first upward action. If you will plot here the predictor, you'll see the market is not quite overbought yet, so it has some room till the overbought, but it stands rather close, 122.10. On Monday it could be reached. And here, guys, the special meaning again will stand around this XOP target. You probably remember that was the source of the disturbing for us, because market has turned down and we said, well, it's a bit tricky moments. Market hasn't completed the major target, this ABCD pattern. For the few pips here, it's not really good, because market could return it back up and touch this target. And taking into consideration the grabber that we have on the weekly, this is new breath for this subject. It's really tricky moment, because this upward action, guys, ultimately, as I said, could give not just some deep retracement of this leg, but really could be action above the step. That's why potentially this starting action could be really attractive for trading. So, as we said, market could move slightly higher, but stands very close to the overbought area. Also don't forget that this is actually bullish engulfing. Usually when the bullish engulfing is forming, it shows minor retracement back down inside of the body of the pattern before the second leg of the retracement starts, the continuation of the pattern starts. That is what we see on the 4-hour time frame chart. Take a look. That market is forming kind of the ABCD pattern to the upside. XOP stands 27.98, so 128 even, very close to the confluence resistance on the 4-hour time frame chart. And probably market will complete it on Monday before retracement down will start. As soon as retracement down will start, you could keep an eye on this level around the weekly pivot point. It will be so, as we suggest market moves slightly higher, then all levels will move also slightly higher, and that will give us perfect confluence support around the weekly pivot point. It stands 26.85. So that's the first stage of the trading plan that we could follow. That will be the point where you will have to make the decision whether to take the long position or not. So that being said, our short-term trading plan on the Canadian dollar suggests on Monday moving high in completion of the 128 target. Second step in the trading plan, starting over retracement. We suggest that probably will be to the 126.85, and that could become the point where maybe will be some patron formed, some kind of regardless triple to buy, for example, or something of that sort, that makes possible to take the long position with the further upward continuation in the Canadian dollar. Longer term analysis and some thoughts on the longer term perspective of the Canadian dollar you could read in our weekly research.